morning guys, Chris VA Travels up here in Alexandria, Virginia, just a little south of Washington DC. Not too far from Mount Vernon. Actually, this property was once a part of Mount Vernon, but I'm visiting Woodlawn, old plantation home. Actually, George Washington had this built. It was a wedding gift for his step-granddaughter. That would be Nellie Custis, who had married his nephew, Lawrence Lewis. And Lawrence Lewis, his parents were Betty Washington, George's sister, and Fielding Lewis, who lived at Kenmore Plantation down in Fredericksburg. I've got a video on that if you want to check it out. But real quick, gather some information, and you'll see just a 5-part mansion, or maybe you could call it 7-part, it looks like. And it built during the federal period, 1805, and it looks like work began 1799. But built in the kind of Georgian style. But yeah, and Dr. William Thornton was the architect, and he had built also the U.S. Capitol. And here it is. Oh wow, 1887. And before the attachments on the side, before the wings were added, and there it is, 1915, with the wings. Pretty cool. All right, so yeah, let me walk up here, get a look at the front. And yeah, pretty grand mansion. Oxeye window right up in there. Oh, hipped roof. Pretty cool. Is that a bell off on the chimney off to the side there? And yeah, here you go. Oh yeah, the carriage turnaround right here. Pretty cool. Yeah, let me go inside and get my ticket. So it looks like the entrance is right in here, and big old oak tree right here. And this is probably a witness tree. Got to be a couple 100 years old. Magnolia back there. Actually, there's a good collection of trees. I see a cedar, a few cedars. But yeah, I'll walk the grounds after the house tour, and hopefully I can film inside another one of these bullseye oxeye windows here. Bought my ticket, it's $15. I'll also let you know the Pope Leahy house, which is a house built by, or it wasn't built, it was designed by architect Frank Lloyd Wright, is right down the road, and you can get a combo ticket. Sorry, I don't remember the price on that, but I visited that a while back. I've got a video on that as well. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and walk the grounds. I signed up for a tour. Next tour is at 11 o'clock, which is in like 40 minutes from now. Good old DC traffic, Northern Virginia traffic slowed me up coming up here. But yeah, good old Southern Magnolia up here, not quite yet in bloom. Oh, I stand corrected. It looks like this thing is in bloom. All right, so garden back there, and they have events here, weddings and whatnot. I'll make my way over there. Oh yeah, see a little event kind of tent over there, I guess. Yeah, these cedars, I believe these are going to be red cedars. Yeah, the bark. And there were some plaques on the other side of the parking lot I saw when I walked in. So I'll eventually make my way over there. And this block down here used to say Woodlawn Plantation. I think they sandblasted it or something. But anyway, let me just walk the grounds, and I'll walk around, take a look at the back of the house. Yeah, everything's in bloom. You can smell it in the air, actually. But let me take another look at this plaque. Take a closer look at the floor plans. This 1893 architectural drawing. Pretty standard. Okay, central passage going down the middle. Parlors on the right, parlor on the left. Obviously, bedrooms will be on the second floor. We've got a wash house, kitchen on the left wing. And then further to the left, there's a dairy, which doesn't look like it's still standing. And then you would have a meat house / smokehouse on the right, which I'll see if that's still standing. Okay, all right. And there might be a few things straight ahead to look at. Yeah, butterflies are out. This would be a Chinese privet, putting off a nice fragrance. And I saw a bee just fly away. Yeah, cedars. Let me cut to the left here actually. Oh, a little path right here you can walk down. I'll also let you know, 1846, Nellie Custis sold the property to a group of bakers out of New Jersey, but we're right outside of the Philadelphia area. And they kind of divvied off the land, turned it into smaller farms. Wrap around. Oh wow, yeah, it was a big tree here at one time. Oh, all right. So this is a well-maintained property, and here we go. Yeah, nice looking house. Like I say, well kept property. And this is the it sounds like a Tesla going by. Yeah, well kept property. I'll tell you right now, currently 160 acres, but originally 2,000 acres back in 1799 when George Washington had gifted it. Another magnolia over there in bloom. Looks like the staff parking lot over there. And real quick, one more time, let me get a better view of the front. I'll stand a little further back. The heirloom garden is over here. It looks like restoration is in progress. Another one of these Chinese privet trees or bushes. Bees swirling, like I say, that's putting off pretty strong fragrance. Oh, yeah, there's a little overgrown right here, so I guess, yeah, okay, not too much is going on with the garden. Let me just wrap around just to make sure there's nothing to see. Up to the left here. Okay. Well, they've got the, wow, they've got like an electrical fence right here. So, or I don't know if that's electrical actually, but I don't know, is it? I don't know, but anyway, so little garden right there. Oh, all right, so yeah, they've got there's a lady over there working actually. So I'm sure it's going to look nice when they finish up. Dormers up on the side here of this wing. And wrap around. Oh, so that must be the ice house right there. And I think they've got this closed. We'll see if it opens. But yeah, so that's probably going to be an ice house. Maybe you can only access it. I think I can walk around right here. Yeah, it looks like I've got to go down, take a left, and kind of walk up through this. Looks like this is the employee parking lot. While I walk, I'll let you know the Native American tribe, originally from this area, kind of marshy ground. The Dogue Indian tribe, if I'm pronouncing that right, D-O-G-U-E. They were big down in King George County. And they're the ones who had ticked off Nathaniel Bacon, eventually causing Bacon's rebellion. Yeah, part of the Algonquin speaking Indian nation. And you're gonna have your typical cedar alley lining this kind of side entrance, I guess. Yeah, it looks like it. Yeah, all kinds of people, I guess, the gardeners and whatnot, landscapers, ivy hanging from the electrical lines. But it's been raining all week, so yeah, it's going to be marshy. Looks like you can walk up inside that little octagon style house. I'm wondering if that's a necessary, a loo, bathroom. Yeah, we'll see. Some bird life. Wow, they just kind of came in, swarmed in. Okay, yeah, some grounds back there. But let's see. Oh, I thought I might be seeing a little kind of toilet latrine. But I'll have to ask what this was. I don't see a sign. But, oh yeah, necessary. Okay, so I guess they just don't have. Yeah, so this is the old bathroom, old outhouse. And I guess there's not too much to see, but, and you guys are familiar with the ice house. They would have gone to the local creek, which would be the Doggy Creek that were nearby. In the wintertime, they would saw off little squares of ice, put them down about 15 feet deep, cover them in sawdust, hay, whatever. And yeah, the ice would stay cool until the summertime when they needed ice. Kind of cedar shingles right here. Yeah, slate shingles up there. Federal Eagle door knock. Let me go down. Kind of a low door right here. Oh yeah, I'm seeing that tree everywhere. Yeah, so the dairy, but it's locked up. And pretty fancy right above the door there. And I don't know, is that a sandstone kind of surround right there, the little keystone? Or is that limestone? I don't know. Step back to get a better look at it. Oh wow, yeah, here's the back. Three windows right there, kind of in the Palladian style, not exactly, but cool little keystones right above them. And back is pretty similar to the front. And yeah, you can walk out onto the porch. And this is grown over, but imagine the Doggy Creek is back here. And I know that George Washington had this built so that you could see Mount Vernon from the property. And yeah, I think I see just behind the trees the Doggy Creek, which flows out into the Chesapeake. So yeah, somewhere out there is going to be Mount Vernon. But okay, cool. Yeah, so they do have the wing. I just couldn't see it from when I was standing at that plaque. Oh, all right, a little walkout porch on that end. Kind of a lantern hanging down beneath it, but yeah, obviously a symmetrical house. Let me walk up and take a look at this kind of, I don't know if you want to call it a fan light. Just, it's kind of unique seeing that like underneath the porch here. I guess just to get some light into the basement. But anyway, yeah, nice breeze standing right here. Oh, kind of cool belt right there. And if that's sandstone, it probably came from the government island down there in Stafford County. I'm willing to bet, because that's what the sandstone they had used in Mount Vernon, so I'm sure that's where it came from. Oh, some cool griffins right there holding that bench up. Okay, so you can walk inside right here. Big cauldron down here. And you'd use that thing for everything from cooking to dyeing clothes. Just kind of an empty. Yeah. Well, it's a lot cooler in here. Big old hornet's nests up there, wasp nests. And like I say, I saw some plaques on the other side of the parking lot. So actually, let me walk up through the garden here. Whoa, no smoking or vapes around the garden. Cool little relaxing, calming fountain right here. There you go. Wow, yeah, lots of chimneys. And yeah, pretty fancy dormers up there too, actually. Cool designs going across. And yeah, there's griffins right here. This bench. And there are restrooms down there, so you know. Oh yeah, it's really humid out. And let me, kind of a parterre garden, kind of, sort of. But let me walk up this way and come up and take a left and go take a look at those plaques. Oh, check this out. Pretty cool pruned little bush. Mushroom down there. Like I say, the butterflies are out. I get some shade underneath this. You should put a little bench right there. So, okay, yeah, it's really in bloom, the magnolia back over there on this side. Yeah, let me make my way over there. Tulip poplar growing up right there. So yeah, let me go look at the plaques that are way back there. But I had told you all that 1846 Quakers had purchased the property, and then in 1853 the Quakers sold the property. They had sold it to a John Mason, and I don't know, I can only assume he's related to George Mason. I'll have to ask about that when I take the tour. George Mason from Gunston Hall, off Mason's Neck, which is not too far away, a little south of here. But yeah, it fell through several different hands, and then this property became Fort Belvoir. And yeah, and also part of Fort Belvoir was once a part of Mount Ayr, another plantation home. The ruins of it I visited a few months ago. I'll put a video up on. So you could actually, I guess, say Fort Belvoir was once a part of Mount Vernon, because this was originally a part of Mount Vernon. So, all right, let me go over here and look at this. Yeah, the Pope Leahy house is going to be right down here, bottom of the hill. And read this. This sign's going to have to do with the Pope Leahy house. I'll just hover over it. I'll let you pause and read. But I looked at this in another video. It's from a few years ago. You look at the little design right there with the windows right there. Almost looks like an elephant. Yeah, you can pause if you want to learn more about the house. All right, well, I guess I didn't need to walk over here, but I guess I got some exercise and I stalled some time before my tour. Oh, all right, so before I make my way back up here, one last thing, I guess, to complete the timeline of the house. The mid-20th century, it was acquired by the National Trust for Historic Preservation, and it was actually the first property acquired. And then, I'll tell you, philanthropist Paul Mellon, he was a major donor. Okay, so I think this is the third time I've filmed walking down this entranceway. But yeah, there were slaves on the property. During its lifetime, about 90 enslaved worked here. And that was up until 1846 when the Quakers purchased the property. They didn't believe in slavery. They paid their workforce. So trying to set a good example But I'll learn more, and I would imagine there were slave cabins. I'll find out where they were. I just came up here to take a look at the front door. And cool keystone right there. Cool design on that arch going around. And yeah, big old fan light right there. Again, that Federal Eagle door knock. Cool, all right. Big old keyhole right there. All right, so kind of storm cellar down there it looks like. And these are some big shutters, big windows. Okay. Cool kind of lintel up there. And there are how many? 24 panes on this window. And so you know the thing would let a nice breeze in when you opened it up. And these are probably newer, I guess, obviously shutters, but it looks like you can kind of close them from the, open and close them from the inside. All right, so yeah, let me go in and take the tour. Oh, one last thing, Marquis de Lafayette stayed here during his big tour, 1824 into 1825. Got a little solar panel thing right there. And he stayed in one of the bedrooms inside, but yeah, I'll get a look at that during the tour. So, all right, here we go. All right, made it inside, and I'll show off some of the furniture and displays I was able to film. Here they are, Lawrence Lewis, again George Washington's nephew, and Nellie Custis, George Washington's step-granddaughter. A full map of the Mount Vernon estate, and upper left portion was broken off to become Woodlawn. You hate looking at this, but the slave inventory, and to the left are 24 of George Washington's slaves, 28 from his wife Martha. Full Lewis family tree, pretty big. The blue arrow marks where Lewis sat. Red clay bricks, they came off the Doggy Creek. Pretty solid. And back here, we've got a recreation of one of the slave quarters. Over here, these triangular bricks would form a circle, which became the columns that held up the portico just outside. Hey, Andrew Jackson doorstop. Original photo of one of the slave cabins here at Woodlawn. And it was the basis, it was the model for the recreation they built over at Mount Vernon. Big gilded convex mirror. And these were pretty popular at the time in these central hallways. Always have the big Federal Eagle on top. And they were great for dispersing light throughout the hall via candle or the transom window that was usually above the door. Back to the entrance door. And this is actually hand-painted grain. It was feather painted to look more expensive. Grandfather clock, circa 1800, and it was donated by a descendant of one of the Quaker families, and they claimed it was owned by the Lewises, but there's no proof to that. Famous painting of the first family. The original hangs in the National Portrait Gallery. And little George Washington Parke Custis, who built Arlington House, he's revealing the world. And that's Nellie Custis right there, standing up. And there have been many reproductions. You'll see this one is similar, but a little different. Martha pointing to what would become Pennsylvania Avenue, and George's right-hand man, Billy Washington, standing up to the right. Old map from the 1820s. And the plantation wasn't profitable, so the Lewises had sold 24 slaves down south to Louisiana. They had 3 children, Lorenzo and 2 daughters, and 2 of the daughters moved down to Louisiana, married planters, so a lot of the family's wealth moved down to that area. Oldest son, Major Edward George Washington Butler Jr., born down there in Louisiana, and he was actually a major in the 11th Louisiana Infantry. He was killed during the Civil War at the Battle of Belmont there in Missouri, and here he is at 3 years old on a visit back up here to Woodlawn. Sheraton looking glass from the 19th century, old mercury mirror, and a painting of Mount Vernon on top overlooking the Potomac. A Chippendale chair down here with a pretty cool splat, and I'm not sure if this is original. They're thinking this chair may be original. They're doing work to find out for sure. The table's just a period piece. You'll see the bellflower design going down. In another parlor, this is the music room. Nellie was a proficient musician, and this is where she would entertain guests. Pianoforte over here. And interesting, the ceiling is 1.5 feet higher in this room for better acoustics. Mary Mason carved her name into the window here on her wedding day. That was a popular thing to do at the time. And remember, the Mason family moved into the house in 1853. The school at Accotink, circa 1907. Bird's eye view of Woodlawn, circa 1970, and behind it is Fort Belvoir's North Base. And you can see it just out of this window if you see the patch of grass between the trees there. Here's Woodlawn's Methodist Church, and this is a picture before its demolition in 1941. Wow, pretty ragged old trunk. And you'll see all the leathers come off. Photo from 1887. This is after the house had been abandoned, after a hurricane had hit, and you can see the damage. This was used as the master bedroom for Elizabeth Sharp, and she owned the home early 1900s. And you'll see an autograph on the wall by Joe. He did the wallpapering, and looks like he signed this in 1908. Mr. Holland, he's a descendant of one of the enslaved here at Woodlawn, and he was a guard at George Washington's tomb over at Mount Vernon. Original yellow pine floors. Whenever I see these antique desks, I always look for a hidden compartment. There's usually a hidden slot to hide personal letters. A Again, what a great view. These trees wouldn't have been here at the time, so you would have had a great shot of the Dogview Creek and Mount Vernon. Back here we'll get a peek of the stairs leading up to the attic. And again, more writing on the wall. This traveling desk was said to have been used by Marquis de Lafayette. He actually stayed at the house twice, 1824 and then again in 1825. And you'll see it would fold up. He would take it with him on his carriage rides. Also, they're not sure which room he stayed in. Okay, frame of a pretty nice day bed over here. And then check out this tall boy. I apologize, I don't remember if she said if this was original. But I can tell you the bed is original. This was Nellie and Lawrence's bed, so that's pretty neat. They've got this here. And not too big of a bed, so a little bit of a tight squeeze. Picture on the canopy here is called the Apotheosis of Washington, and it's where he's about to ascend into heaven. It's similar to the picture that's on the top of the Capitol dome. Portrait of Nellie right here, and this is circa 1804. Painting by Nellie's brother Washi, and it was said that she wasn't a big fan of the painting. All right, yeah, finished the house tour. Great tour. Tour guide Laura was awesome. Oh, and I found out this house is modeled after Kenmore down in Fredericksburg. And it was Lawrence Lewis's father, Fielding Lewis's house, who was married to Betty Washington, like I said before, George's sister. But yeah, this was a great stop off. So yeah, I'm gonna hop in my car, I have to go this way. And I'm gonna walk over and take a look at that Quaker meeting house before I get out of here. I made it to the Quaker meeting house. Going to take a look around. Looks like they've got a little book exchange right here. And yeah, they say this thing is still active. Woodlawn Quaker Meeting House, established 1849. Yeah, worship here each Sunday, 11 a.m., if that's up to date. And I believe there might be a cemetery around back. I don't know, but just go up and take a closer look. And just kind of just a storage area to the right there. Some native plants being grown to the right. And it looks like there's some people over to the left, so maybe I'll just wrap around the back first. And I'm glad I wore pants today, some pretty tall grass. But I don't think there's going to be anything old inside. Like I say, okay, it looks like just kind of, I don't think I need to stick the camera up there. But I'm walking back here, okay, yeah. Oh yeah, okay, there are graves back here. And might see some Quaker names. Not that historic of a building, but yeah, just a clapboard house. And what's that? Oh, a tree falling way back there. Oh, so this, we got footstones on them. Well, I don't know, they're facing the other way. I'm not sure what's happening, but okay, 1962, 61, 2004, all right. Some initials over here. Got them squeezed in here, fairly tight. But aged 90 years, wow, 1945. age 97. All right, good for him. Oh, some couples buried here. 1949 and 1968. Whole family, it looks like. Are these child graves? I guess the faces have kind of worn off. All right, here we go. Yeah. Oh, wow. 12 days. I can't really make that one out. 1 year right here. Okay, that's just after, during the Civil War. And that was after it had fallen out of the Quaker hands. I guess 1860s. 1853, like I say, the Masons. Oh, and I found out the Masons who own the property are not related to George Mason. Wow, check out the size of this tree. This is kind of interesting. There's nothing on that side, and there's just, yeah, there's nothing written right there, just on the top. 1863, John Reynolds. Yeah, died May 7th. They don't have the date of births on some of these, just when they died. Wow, okay, so these are going back to the 1800s. I got some shade over here. All right. Well, they had some big trees on the property. And it looks like one had fallen, maybe knocked the other over. Possibly that's what happened. Wow, that would have been a serious crack when that thing fell. All right. Just look. Oh, look, little lambs right here, and that's going to mean it's going to be a child's grave. Yeah, these are pretty simple. Like I say, they just Sims. Oh, that says kitchen. Sims, and then kitchen. And the lamb usually indicates, like I say, a child's grave. But okay, I think that says Taylor over there. Right. A lot of bugs over here. Yeah, some Taylors, Gibbs. A lily buried there on the end. HMT. Troth and Walton. Jacob Troth. Yeah, these are in a style that I haven't seen, so. Okay, yeah, a couple. Say Walton. Okay, all right, Otto. Otto Newberger. Foot. Yes, these are different than the names I'm used to seeing down in Southern Virginia, except for Smith and Taylor back there. Well, all right. Okay, yeah, I just want to take a quick look. Wow, check that thing out. That bird flying. I couldn't tell what that was. Oh, all right, so let me wrap around. I think they might be gone. And just take a look at the front of this Quaker meeting house. I remember seeing a lot of these, of course, when I was in Philadelphia. Well, yeah, just a simple building. Friends gather here, it says. Oh, some pews in there. Looks like, oh, there's an old stove back there. Maybe I'll Peek through the window over here. Yeah, just a old iron stove. Okay, well, cool. Oh, and I've actually got a little bit of drone footage of this place and a little bit of Woodlawn. When I visited the Pope Leahy house, I remember I got like a minute of drone time because this is a restricted area. I guess we're not too far from Arlington, Reagan Airport. But anyway, so I'll stick that up. But yeah, okay, that rounds out a big old tree right here. This big old willow. So yeah, guys, I'm gonna hit the road, head on back down to Fredericksburg, and see you on the next one.